Assalamu alaikum ji. Welcome back to the Kahe, Kazi podcast. My guest today is Usman Shah. He's a close friend, known him for 13, 14 odd years, and he is currently working with a multinational. The conversation we get up to involves racism in Pakistan, class consciousness, class struggles, and basically a lot of shit talking. I hope you enjoy it. 3, 2, 1. Usman Shah.
Akbar Kazi.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Sorry, Kazi Akbar.
Kazi. I prefer that. Yes. No, yeah, previously I was just, I was talking shit. It was just me.
Now it's just the two of us talking.
I mean, it's better. We're bouncing ideas off each other. This becomes academic almost compared to. मैं सीधा एक कैमरा था उसमें मैं देखता रहता था और बोलता रहा. Just angry.
You can make the argument that anyone listening to anyone talking is just listening to other person talking shit.
We're all just talking shit. None of us.
Slightly more educated shit.
यार पता है क्या?
Sometimes.
देखो, science is also. It's like 99% fact, but there is that 1%. So we're all just talking shit. Even scientists are talking shit, really.
लेकिन 1% पे जब बात ले जाता है तो फिर इतना नहीं होता.
मतलब
Photosynthesis. I think he's talking shit. No, that's true.
That's true.
Plants do grow.
Cancer, really just talking shit.
Really talking shit. No, people die.
People get hurt. It gets fucked up. Anyways, man, how have you been doing in the Rona? I'm gonna drink this now.
I've been looking at it for some time. Thank you for breaking that barrier. But I don't know.
Barrier.
Rona's been alright, man. It's a strange turn the world's taken. We're living in a strange post-apocalyptic sort of society where you can feel that there could be a dark overturn a few months ahead. Some countries go down the drain. And pretty much just chilling throughout it.
Yeah, what else are you gonna do?
Exactly.
But some countries are gangster. South Korea हो गया, New Zealand हो गया, उन्होंने बोला नहीं मसला नहीं है, tension नहीं है.
Well, yeah, but their society is also like extremely. This is the first time that I think social responsibility has been tested really in the world, like properly.
Yeah,
in the world.
and we have no quotient of that. We're fucked.
Yeah, so we tried.
Yeah,
and
for a bit.
I was very hopeful in the beginning when I used to see the prime minister's like addresses and everything. I thought, okay, these guys are actually, if they're actually addressing the public,
Yeah.
that means they genuinely care. They're trying to educate people, but
But no. But the public का response भी तो होता है ना.
yeah,
everyone's
you want to
so
know something really interesting.
sure. That's
So
what this podcast is about.
Yeah, so I got a dog recently and I hired like a driver to go get him. So that driver was a Pathan and he told me, like his words to me were, he's like the Taliban was worse. It wasn't as bad as Corona. And I was like, what the hell do you mean? I
Yeah.
was like, exactly. I was like, you're talking shit. I was like, they killed people, like cut off heads. In the sense that he's like, at least we could see our enemy. Oh shit, they ain't all stupid.
Come on, what's wrong with you?
I'm joking, man.
That's powerful though.
Yeah.
That's deep stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
people
it
just
blew me away. I was like,
yeah.
Yes. You
But
are right.
that's what's insidious about all the mental health problems that are coming out of Corona and the lockdown. Na? Ke you can't see the shit.
Yeah.
Not only can you not see it, most people still won't. In 2020, most people won't, or not most people, but people won't take it seriously.
Yeah.
क्या depressed हो? हाँ, depression is a chemical thing. ऐसे नहीं होता है मैं भी depressed हूँ. नहीं.
You can measure it.
Yeah, it's measurable. There's
You can measure
symptoms.
hormonal changes. It's primarily hormonal from what my research says. It's a lot to do with hormonal, where being a male, if your testosterone levels are jumping up and down or your estrogen levels aren't balanced, if everything isn't balanced, it's going to mess some stuff up, and it's going to mess some stuff up in your brain, which
Yeah.
most of your hormones are excreted from your pituitary gland, which is technically in your brain.
It's right there. It's in the brain.
That's
Exactly.
where it's going to have the first effect. So I have a friend in he's I think doing his residency or something. He used to be in school with me, so I follow him on Instagram. I see his stories and stuff. So he's doing his residency, I think, in the UK in like Manchester, and he's doing it in psychiatry. And I remember seeing his stories like a couple of weeks ago initially when the corona thing started and everything started getting locked down, and he was talking about the effect that it had on his patients that he was overseeing. And he's like, even it doesn't really, it's already frowned upon, it's not talked about that much in society, so people like brush it to the side
Sure.
or whatever, don't give that much weight to it. They don't realize that it's a physical
It's a thing. Yeah.
so they're just like, oh, it's a stage, you'll get out of it. But for patients who are like schizophrenic, or for patients who are like extremely delusional, they have like delusional disorders, or like highly acute bipolar and highly acute paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these, the level of effect that corona had on their mental health, like they wouldn't accept food from anyone, they wouldn't accept
Jeez.
water from anyone, because they thought everyone was out to get them, because everything's a conspiracy when you're crazy.
It is. I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny. We're supposed to take this seriously. And there's weird shit like seasonal affects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ये मौसम के बदलने से there's going to be stuff in my brain that's just gonna go off. इसके
मौसम की वजह से, what do you mean?
seasonal effect ही होता है यार, सर्दी की वजह, मतलब it's supposed to do with the sun and the moon.
जैसे कह रहे थे गर्मी आएगी कोरोना मर जाएगा.
Sure. Is there some truth to that?
It's what people believe. Like a lot of people be like, yeah bro, it's like the fucking मच्छर के जैसे ही जाएंगे ये वो गर्मी आएगी तो गर्मी में सारी बीमारियां जो है ना सन मार देता.
अच्छा नहीं, here's the thing. So I was listening to a podcast, as I often do. Joe Rogan की podcast सुन रहा था मैं.
Sorry about that.
Now I'm gonna have to beat you up.
Sorry, I don't know who this is, so they can wait.
Anyone can wait. We're doing this. Come on now. I'm gonna stop the podcast.
I should switch my phone off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm joking. Don't be upset.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
But you have to talk to me. Anyhow. So I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast with Eric Weinstein. And he was talking about this. He was like, the way this virus behaves, 2-3 चीजें इनको बता पड़ी हैं. एक ये कि it spread more indoors than it is outdoors. दूसरा ये कि sun में it almost disappears. And these things lead them to believe कि this was constructed or mutated in a lab somewhere. क्योंकि indoor environment में like ऐसे scene हैं गर्मी वाली बात के बारे में.
Man, weirdly, I was talking to another friend about this. I get the feeling that 2 years down the line we'll be watching a documentary on how the world stood still while a fake virus destroyed everything, and this country took over, and this country fell. Everyone fell for it. We're all idiots.
Don't say that. But the thing is, because of the proliferation of the digital medias, of production medias, everyone's already a documentary maker. Everyone's already a producer.
Yeah.
तो ऐसी वीडियोस वगैरह तो आ रही हैं. कुछ व्लॉग्स इतने हाई क्वालिटी के आते हैं, मैं बोलता हूँ ये तकरीबन डॉक्यूमेंट्री है, and it is of that nature that you're speaking
Well,
about.
if you like dress it up nicer, it'll be easily palatable for.
Yeah.
But is there truth to it? That's another lens that you should put.
No, I don't care about that lens. As long as it looks nice, sounds nice. What do?
I think he's right. He's put effort into this.
मुझे feeling यही आ रही है कि
put effort into this bullshit.
this bullshit is good. It smells nice. लेकिन नहीं है, देखो. Truth is, it's tricky ना. Like especially these days, the language is इतनी liberal है. The way they speak about everything, they speak about language. It's my truth versus your truth. No, there's objective truth, obviously. लेकिन what is objective truth? But if you cut me, I bleed. यहाँ तक ठीक है.
Yeah.
But like, what level can you take that to? इस किस्म की आप a priori experimentation नहीं कर सकते हो ना हर चीज़ के साथ.
Well, if I cut you, you bleed. I
Yeah.
can experiment more and cut you more, and you bleed more.
This one, okay, that can be derived from the fact that you
We're
cut
taking
me.
a dark turn today.
No, this is the first podcast. I don't know what's
Let's
gonna
get some knives in here.
happen. Let's not get some knives. Welcome to my scientific experimentation podcast.
Welcome to the Knife Fights 101.
We're not
Today we're gonna fight with knives.
we're not scientists, but we're gonna do science.
I hope you like that political discussion. Time to get to the violence.
Views go through the roof. They're like, fuck yeah.
Like, yeah, you don't know what to expect.
That would be great. That would be great. But yeah, man. But you're working from home?
Yeah, like working from home has been a weird adjustment. Some people have adjusted to it well. Eventually, over time, I guess everyone has. But it does slow down the pace of work quite a lot. Like, a lot of things do get lost in translation when their communication medium is primarily cut off. Like
Huh.
the oldest communication medium that there is talk to the person.
Yeah.
But
Guftagu.
yeah, a lot of shit gets lost in translation. Timelines get pushed quite a lot. So there is a barrier when it comes to things. But at the same time, people who are responsible to a certain extent where they're working, they've sort of adapted it. Like everyone's wearing their masks to work
Hmm.
because the organization demands it.
Hmm.
Generally, I don't know if they would or not, but at least it's putting them in the habit, and it's just about getting in the habit.
Yeah.
Just wear the goddamn mask and just.
Just go work. Nahi. Yes.
It's uncomfortable.
Sure. Yeah, the mask is uncomfortable for sure. लेकिन उसके अलावा भी this working from home ना, me personally, I thought I would enjoy the shit out of it, but there's an element of a loss of agency.
Mm.
पहले ऐसे लगता था कि भाई, you know, I'm not going wherever because I don't feel like it. Now it's like, oh no, you're not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You're staying home. So वो एक बड़ा issue है मेरे ख्याल में. I don't know.
I felt like मैं काफी जल्दी adjust कर लिया था
हाँ.
to the working from home scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just about passing the time, learning skills, and you have more time to think to yourself. But at the same time, the only thing you don't want to compromise, yeah, you're getting, like, I adjusted to it. I was fine with working from home. But if you want to deliver good work, you have to be more hands-on. That's what I believe. Like, you should be present at all times. If you're not allowed to be present, if that's a restriction, that's a barrier that you can't cross at this point,
Mm-hmm.
things will suffer, so you won't really feel very good professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one aspect. No matter what you're doing, like what your profession is or something that you're following or something that you have to do,
Mm-hmm.
you have to give it your all.
100%.
Working from home stops you from that, but
But are the employees, you spoke about timelines just now, are the employee or the employer, is the employer understanding, is he cognizant, is he or she, are they cognizant of the fact that it's a difficult situation? Because I've seen some employers not be understanding. They just like,
so
oh, वैसे काम करके दो जैसे करते थे पहले. Oh, वैसी situation नहीं है, कैसे काम करेंगे?
sort of, yeah. But like most of the organizations that like my old colleagues work at, or where I know people working, they've been pretty understanding and they've been pretty helpful of their employees. Like they've been trying to protect them as much as they can. Like some of the organizations I know about, they resorted to their last resort. मतलब उन्हें reserve किया हुआ था as a last resort के weren't going to do anything and everything to try to save money, and the last discussion will be if we have to cut people down. And even after that, people have been pretty, like, yes, there's been a mix of different kinds of organizations, because you have to see like उनके ऊपर कितनी liability आ रही है और कितना ज़्यादा effect आ रहा है. For organizations that can afford it, they've been taking care of their employees.
But that's what I'm saying. That you're speaking about the realm of, or you exist in the realm of multinationals, mashallah se.
Corporate Pakistan.
Lekin there's also like local organizations who've not risen to the occasion.
At the same time, like I was talking to a friend a few weeks ago. One friend of ours we know, the first day the lockdown was announced, he laid off employees.
Jeez.
But at the same time, another friend of ours, he's like, even though they weren't working offices were shut down, the city was locked down. Despite that, they gave their employees twice the salary.
What?
That's also happening. Like
Yeah.
there's every kind of employer out there.
Sure. Yeah. So
But-
it's just you get what you get. We know how you were speaking about isko AC ko thoda jo hai na. You know how you were speaking about work.
Yeah.
कार्ल मार्क्स जो है ना, अपने मार्क्स भाई पता है आपको, सियालकोट के आगे नहीं? No? Let's do a redo. Karl Marx जो थे, he spoke about alienated labor. And he said that labor will be alienated because their work is hijacked.
Yeah.
Like what gives their life meaning and so avoids nihilism, hopelessness, all those bad things is work. Their work. He didn't just say work, he said their work. Inka kaam. Like what you were talking about, like your work is not the same as my work. We could have different work, but our work gives us meaning. But it needs to be our work. One of the insidious things about capitalism, or so Marx said, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, Marx नहीं बोला, is कि they're alienated from their own work. Like whatever work I'm doing it for someone else. I'm not doing it for myself. So I will lose my meaning. And that causes great psychological and existential trauma.
Yeah, trauma or confusion.
Hmm.
It does. I feel that working for another organization, you always feel that. So I like some people have that. That I guess is a difference between some people who have that entrepreneurial bug and some who don't.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Or somebody who's just identified himself a little better and he knows that if it's something they don't want to do, they just need to find what they need to do and step out and do it and make that your work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're losing meaning, if work is like the purpose of your life, then you got to find the right purpose. Matlab.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just give yourself a purpose. Ke, I'm gonna sell soap for a living.
Yeah,
Are
and
you
then start
passionate
Fight
about
Club.
soap? You like soap? I'll make it work. Pays the bills.
Sure, and that's the other thing ना तभी वो ये एक इशू है ना बहरहाल कि ये एक सिंधी में बोलते हैं भरे पेट जटिट. This is I'm sorry while you were drinking I'm so sorry but that's what this is na is you can have these discussions, you can have these
Sounds like a fat naked lady.
it's not a fat naked lady it literally means it's the misadventures of a full stomach. Loose translation, that's what it is. Masla ye hai कि you can only have these discussions, these conversations when you're fed, when the kitchen's not going to stop, when everything's good,
Yeah.
we're drinking Red Bull, AC chal raha hai, bills paid. That's when you can have these discussions. If you don't have that, तो फिर ये गुफ्तगू तो नहीं होती ना.
No, out on the road, make some money.
Make some money, and that's the problem. Most of majority of the people exist on that level.
Yeah.
So yes, their mental health is important, but you know, eating is important. It's a little more important to eat.
Yeah.
That's the problem. एक और चीज़ I remember also listening. ये मैंने जो रोगन नहीं एक और पॉडकास्ट में सुनता हूँ उसका मुझे नाम ज़ाहिर नहीं हैप्पीनेस पॉडकास्ट बिकॉज आई नीड दैट सॉरी जस्ट अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस लेकिन ये है कि उसमें ये देयर वाज रिसर्च डन बाय समवन हु आई डोंट नो Laurie Santos, I think her name is. And she's a proper psychologist. She's a clinical psychologist and
I
stuff.
believe you.
Thanks, man. But she was discussing how cognitive function declines percentiles when you start comparing people who have their basic needs met versus poor people. So you know how poverty is a cycle, and everyone speaks about poverty being a cycle, and it's cyclical, generational, so on and so forth. Masla ye hai ki people that exist in poverty or below the poverty line or even at the poverty line, their cognitive function is greatly hampered compared to ours. And the example she gave was, consider the fact that you are someone who sleeps 8 hours a day. Right? Consider the fact that you are someone who sleeps 8 hours a day, and that's
no,
how
I'm
you
not.
function normally. Huh?
I am not.
No,
But I will think about it.
No, but you don't have to.
I will try to think in the mind of somebody who does.
No. How long do you sleep? How many hours?
I don't know, like 5 hours maybe.
Okay, 5. But do you function normally at 5 hours?
I think so.
I would like to believe.
I don't think others think so.
Number references. इनसे पूछ ले आप. नहीं, but so imagine now that your 5 hours of sleep that you need for basic functioning.
Yeah.
Imagine instead of getting those 5, you're getting 3 for a week. जो कैफियत आपकी उस
Been there, done
सिचुएशन
that.
में होगी, okay, जो आपकी कैफियत उस सिचुएशन में होगी, that's what poverty does to people. You can't make good decisions. You're not definitely not making the right ones because you're not even thinking about them. So cognitive function declines like that.
No, it's really interesting you mentioned that because
I'm an interesting guy.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I was speaking to this friend of mine who's a doctor, and she's a pediatrician. And after talking to her, it became very clear to me, which goes in sync with what you're saying, is that like I started looking at Sindh a completely different way and Balochistan a completely different way. It was like city, jitne bhi urban log hai, they think, yeah, these guys are working with their hands, whatever, they're staying fit, and yeah, wo. When you go and see those guys, it's like just skin and bones hanging down. And the other aspect of it that I didn't think about is that they're extremely malnutrition growing up. That's what she like explained to me, that they're extremely malnutrition growing up. And when you're not getting that, when you're just on like roti and like aloo with like 40% oil and like 60% aloo, that's all you're eating. And that's like all you're eating for like years on years. Your brains don't develop the right way.
Exactly.
So you're already set up to fail. Like you can't. How are you gonna fight that when you, like, you can claim that yes, this the village people is stupid. Well, for a reason,
Yeah.
everyone's allowing them to be stupid. They're making them stupid, especially the government, which is not doing anything for their
No,
people.
not for them, unfortunately.
And I don't think even they realize the toll it's doing, because it's ruining like generations for them.
But yeah, that's what it is. The village people are stupid, but some things are innate, like surviving mechanisms. You know what I mean? Like self-preservation. These things, they can't be turned off as easily as, oh, I didn't study A-level physics, so now I'm stupid. It's not the same thing.
It's not
right?
the same thing. You find a lot of different. Man, once you go out, you find a lot of interesting characters.
Yeah, man, 100%. I agree with you.
I haven't met as many interesting characters in the city as I have in the village. I have, but all the city people are kind of crazy.
They're kind of crazy, dude, but they're not. You can't call them stupid.
No, it's
That's the
stupid.
difference because they
No,
have to
it's stupid.
survive in
They're
the city,
smart.
right? Yeah.
They're smart. Some
kinda
crazy,
crazy,
crazy
yeah.
gives you some sort of an edge, some way or the other.
Yeah.
It gives you an edge that
Yeah.
another person does not have.
ये बात तो सही है.
But I've met some balanced, zany characters in the villages. Like I remember last time I went out to Sindh, I met this guy who only spoke shero shairi mein.
Wow.
Like normal conversation, sorry,
can't happen.
I can't turn it off.
That's fantastic.
And it's
That's a
weird
comic
because
book
you're
character.
you're talking to the guy,
Yeah.
and you'd say something, and it's like he doesn't respond immediately. Like he'd just look at you, just take a breath, and then he'd start his narration of a specific fucking share that he had in his head just for that moment, and he brings it out right then. I'm like, okay, I don't have that ability at all.
At all. Not at all. What's it? The other thing I was thinking though was, you know how you were speaking about people being malnourished. The thing is, nutrition is very, very simple. आजकल फिटनेस फैट्स 10,000 चल रहे हैं. एक महीने में तुम्हें जो है 30 किलो गिरा दूंगा. मेरी टांगे काट दोगे, क्या करोगे? 30 किलो कैसे गिराओगे? But the nutrition is actually very, very simple. For me to sustain this body weight, I need to eat maintenance calories.
Yeah.
For me to lose it, deficit calories. For me to gain, surplus calories. Problem is कि आपका body weight जैसे जैसे गिरता जाता है, आपकी maintenance कम होती जाती है. But that's basic weight loss and weight gain, right? So there, our villages, huh?
Nice.
What?
Was that a chain of event of burps that we just did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Red Bull, I don't know. Connection. लेकिन ये है कि, so yes, they're skinny and the weight loss is not an issue in the villages. But nutrient profiles,
Yeah.
macronutrients, micronutrients, what you need, vitamins and stuff. जैसे ये corona जो है, इसका भी एक, one of the biggest things were people are generally deficient in vitamin D.
Yeah, that is true for a lot of Pakistanis.
Yeah, but prescription ये है कि vitamin D अपना up रखो और zinc अपना up रखो. सही है ना?
Zinc, vitamin D, calcium, vitamin
Yeah,
C,
yeah. For-
B6.
Yeah, to survive this, like just boost your immunity, boost your vitality, and you'll inshallah get through this. तो वही वाली बात है ना कि जब उन लोगों को हमारी basic meals जब उनसे ज़्यादा rich है, that narrative कि they're fitter than us, they might be happier than us because
I
they
don't think they're
want as
fitter in
much.
they're fitter in a different sense, in the sense that so
They're tough.
like you've been working out, you know about nutrition and everything.
Yeah.
You also but you also know that strength does not come from your muscles. It comes from your central nervous system, and you can't deny that most of those guys have a stronger central nervous system than people
100%.
over here.
100%.
Like you could see a skinny guy lift weight over there that you'd be like, okay, I've seen like big people with a lot of fat on them and a lot of energy reserves all over their fucking body, and they can't do that.
Reserves all over the body. एक रिजर्व घुटने वाला खराब हो गया है, लेकिन बाकी सब चल रहे हैं.
I have a lot of reserves right now.
Same, यार, same.
Corona's been horrible. I've gained so much weight. People have died.
That's what it is. That's what, but listen, man, this is the other thing, right? Yes, we need to check our privilege, but there needs to be room in the public sphere for every kind of conversation. And that's why I've been insisting on this podcast. You know, I've been talking about starting a podcast for years, at least 2, right? But it's because हम इतने dismissive हैं in the Pakistani public sphere of conversations. Like, no, we're not talking about this. We can talk about it all. This is not taking up space. Is it taking up mental space? Yes. Well, we'll prioritize. Let's fix them first, get them some food first. But there's also binge eating. Also mental disorders linked to being a recluse or being an introvert. There are all these things, and there's room for conversation.
There's always room for conversation. most of the people that do it, I don't feel like they do a good job at explaining it, because वही होता है, these sort of things don't really get funding, so awareness levels are always low. Like
No.
there's never any money to raise awareness,
Yeah.
and there's the common stigma attached to them, where people are not willing to accept it. Just the
100%,
first step
yeah.
is just getting over that denial.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
some people you just can't get over that denial. They're like, no, it's just a state of mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad.
You pagal ho kya?
Go get an ice cream.
Yeah. Sure. That's gonna help. But
yeah, it's gonna add to your binge eating disorder.
get an ice cream. Get 8 ice creams. That's what I do. It's not a joke.
Endorphin rush.
Exactly. Yeah. You remember Areej Jafrani from Nixa?
Yeah,
She's working with child psychology, I think at LUMS or somewhere.
nice.
So there are people that are dedicating their life to this.
Yeah.
लेकिन ये है कि it's not nearly enough.
Yeah, not really. For anyone who wants to go, like, I know I have a friend of mine. I don't know if she's paying for it or not, but I don't think it's that expensive. Like, there's, forget the name, but I remember it's on like Neelam Colony ke paas, Zamzama Park ke bilkul opposite. There's a place that does like coaching, and they'll train you to be a therapist for free.
Therapy works है क्या?
Yeah, therapy works.
Yeah. Absolutely. They'll coach you into it, but वही वाली बात है ना, जॉर्डन पीटरसन का सुना है ना?
बहुत सुना है, लेकिन पता नहीं, बहुत बोलता भी बहुत है.
बोलता ज़्यादा ही है कुछ. He dresses good. I like it. You know, as long as the packaging is pretty, what do you want me to do, right? लेकिन जो है, his brand of psychotherapy is existential psychotherapy. So he mixes existential philosophy into psychotherapy. That's something that interests me greatly, because he ties it all in, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the first people to do it, or I shouldn't say one of the first, but one of the first people that I read who did it was Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was this guy who survived 2 Nazi death camps.
Oh
He
my
was
God.
exactly. I mean, if I think about him, obviously death camps mein se kaise log nikle the, but every time I think about him, I don't know why I picture him having a gold chain, sunglasses, and a cigar. I don't know why. I'm just like, this guy can't be broken.
Yeah.
And he lived a full life.
You've memed him. You've memomized him.
Memomized basically
You
in my
memed
mind.
him.
In my mind, I have, right? So Viktor Frankl wrote this book, bestseller called Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah.
It's 2 parts, right? The first part is he tells you exactly what happened in the death camps. If you want to believe him, it was some horrendous shit.
Yeah.
We know this. Second part is his approach to psychotherapy called logotherapy. Logo meaning meaning. So meaning therapy. And he quotes people like Friedrich Nietzsche, he quotes people like Fyodor Dostoevsky, as to saying, and he quotes them saying the same thing, is like, bhai dekho, if you have meaning na, you get through it. Nietzsche is famous for saying, as long as you have a why, you will get through any how. You need a why. And Viktor Frankl is very liberal with the why. He's like, I'm not talking about some religious stuff. I'm not saying it needs to be transcendental, divine why. You could be in love with a woman. That could be your why. That's fine. You need to.
Gay.
No, stop it. But you just need. You can just be.
I know some people are going to be pissed off because
It's just a conversation. They shouldn't be pissed off with words. Like, it's about the why. You know what I mean? And that's what he was saying. He's like, dekho, whatever it is, a true friendship, a deep love, your parents, it could be anything. But you need to hold on to that why. हमारे why misplace हो गए हैं, जहाँ तक मुझे लगता है, जहाँ तक मुझे feel होता है.
either displace ho gaye or people just never thought that that's something that they had to do is find the why.
Yeah, sure. Or
For
never.
people who generally go through like mental health episodes, or there's something underlying that's cooking while they're growing up, they always discover that something's wrong, and they're always in that quest for why. They always question. A lot of people tell you not to question.
Sure.
Religion tells you there's a certain extent to which you can question, and beyond that, just leave it to faith.
Yeah.
And that's for a reason. It's because you dive too deep, you go down in that rabbit hole, and you can find a lot of things. And how you come out of that, that's up to you. Like that.
But that's what it is. Na, ye jo religion wali baat hai, we must come to terms with the fact that our mental apparatus, the smartest person you know, their mental apparatus isn't equipped to go too deep. They can go deeper than us. Understood. Going too deep no one's mental apparatus will survive that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the tools. You know, it's like me picking a fight with Francis Ngannou. I just don't have the tools.
Nope.
Nope.
But you might just bite an ear off.
No.
And I know you're not going down without a fight.
I'm going to try, but that's what it is, right? He's going to hold me down and I'm dead. I'm dead, basically, right? Huh?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. You're pretty strong, man.
Not that strong. No one's that
Some
strong.
sort of a fight.
If I have a knife, maybe something, right?
How long do you think you'll last?
5 seconds. Yeah. I'll last.
You
till
can run for 5 seconds.
I can run for 5. Exactly. That's what
The
I'm going to do.
goal is to last as long as possible. In the ring, 5 rounds, how long do you think you can go?
This is not what the conversation was about. But I'm pretty sure I'll last the amount of time it'll take him to get to me. That's it. That's it. Like, if he closes the distance, like, just say, if we're going to start, like, with this distance, right? Between
I think
us.
you can survive a minute.
No, you don't understand. anyone listening or watching who doesn't know who Francis Ngannou is, just search up Francis Ngannou. He's a UFC fighter. Just search him up and then please tell Usman how wrong he is.
I don't know. I think you can just hold on to him for a minute.
No one's holding on to him.
How much do you weigh?
105 kilos.
It's like 220.
That's like 220. Yeah. No.
Not bad.
It's above it's like 230.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs to, dekho meri baat suno. He needs to cut weight. He's like 13% body fat at 265.
How tall are you? 6.
5'11". 6 on a good day when you compliment me, though.
When you're humble, you're 5'11".
When I'm when I'm pragmatic, I'm 5'11". If I'm humble, I'm 5'10". But you compliment me, watch what happens. 6 foot, definitely.
Yeah, I think you can go a minute.
No, that's not happening.
You talk about me, that's a different story. Like, I'm
but we're
dead,
talking
he's
about
gonna
life.
fucking rip me apart.
We're talking about life and our mental apparatuses not being equipped for it.
Yeah.
I think वो limitation तो बिल्कुल ठीक है. But having said that, you have to look for the why. It needs to happen. Like, otherwise, all this existential angst, it will destroy you. It'll destroy all of us. It's supposed to.
Well, philosophers, musicians, artists before us, they've known that. They've known that the quest for why can solve a lot of things for a lot of people, especially for society.
Yeah.
And particularly what gives them the courage to step out is that I want more people to question. I want more people to start thinking better. I want more people to start thinking differently. Maybe it's something I haven't thought about before. I don't know. I think that's the only reason that somebody would want to, unless there's the vanity of I want to be famous or I want people to know me or think that I'm a star. I think the only other reason that somebody would step out in front of the public and release some of his work, whether it be painting or music or poetry, I think it's just for that quest. Start questioning.
Yeah.
Start questioning because I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you your why. I know my why. Start finding yours.
Yeah. There's no way for you to tell me my why. That's the other problem, no? That's the other problem.
And even if I know it and I tell you, you're never going to believe it until you come on to that thought yourself.
Yet,
Inception karna padta.
no, you came to this conclusion yourself. I didn't do anything. We were in Nixer together,
Yeah.
right? But thinking back, in hindsight, I understand that to be the reason why I was so active with all of those different activities, all of these extracurriculars. That didn't make sense, really, for me to be doing. I was like, I could just try to get good grades. Try, and I'll be fine. But doing all that because I feel, in hindsight, I was looking for a why. Like, I needed something. I needed my life, something to make sense of my life. You know? Because us waqt, and that day, I was what, 17, 18? और उस वक्त मतलब लड़की नहीं थी, सही है ना, कि मैं बोलूँ कि, you are my wife, which would have been worse. Well, at least, with Nix, I was doing something constructive.
Yeah, but thank God nahi hai. If you said that, you know what I would have said.
What?
Gay.
No, stop it. But that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. We're all just looking for something to pour our life into. And that's admirable in itself. But you need to make sure you're not pouring it into something bad or wrong.
Maybe. Like, it's also like a lot to do with influence. The people that you have around you are going to influence how you think about situations and how you react to them.
Sure.
So it teaches you a way to navigate through the dark if you've latched onto something bad, to justify your why, to rationalize your why. So yeah, man, just gotta watch out the people that you're around. Like, I've felt that toxic energy coming from me sometimes, and I try to distance myself from people. Like, you know what? Take a step back, add something good to somebody's life, or don't.
Or just
mess
disappear.
Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense. But yeah, देखो, being self-critical is difficult, right? Especially in a society that tells you to be like you should be perfect. Why aren't you perfect? वो वाली बात है ना.
Like, that's all a masquerade. People can go around, put on a mask. Everyone puts on a mask. Like, who's that person that says you wear 3 masks?
Freud था, Carl Jung था, ऐसा कोई बंदा था.
I don't know. Somebody said it.
Yeah.
I'm vaguely sort of interested. I heard it somewhere. Makes
You
sense.
unnamed guy. आप सही बोल रहे हो.
अच्छी बात थी.
बोल आप सही रहे हो. But that's what I'm saying. No, कि sure you put on masks, right? And sure you're not. You're not. Everyone knows they're not perfect, right? But ये एक चीज मुझे feel होती है that if you're ever self-deprecating, everyone else is gonna group up to laugh at you, right? They're gonna. You're like, oh, I'm like, all right, I'm stupid, right? They're like, yeah, you're stupid. Like, no. You're stupid too. You understand that's the implication. No. You called yourself stupid, so you're stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm telling you that you're stupid. You know what I mean? Like, ये भी
Sort
एक
of,
होता है
yeah.
थोड़ा scene.
I don't know. I just felt like comedy's always been like the best defense mechanism that anyone can have.
Yeah, comedy is a pursuit of the intellectuals. ये बात जो होती है ना मानने की होती है.
Hmm.
समझदार लोगों का pursuit होता है comedy. किसी French philosopher ने बोला था, उसका नाम मैं भूल गया हूँ.
Like, the only way to, sorry, I'm cutting
No,
you
it's
off,
okay.
but the only way to take that criticism from other people if you're already being self-deprecating, then you have nothing to lose. Like, you've already laid it out there.
Yeah.
After that, anything that anyone says, it's like I've said worse. So
Yeah.
everything you're saying, yeah, sure, whatever.
but they're missing the point, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was saying. French philosopher जो भाई थे, उनने तो सिर्फ इतना बोला था, ये बात मैं बोल दूँ तो लोगों को अटक जाएगी. उनने इतना बोला था कि it is the hallmark of an educated society to be able to laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're not educated at all.
Oh.
We can't laugh at ourselves at all.
Yeah.
What was that Sindhi lady who got death threats because she called Sindhis hairy and horny?
Did she?
She did, didn't she?
Damn. Death threats.
Death threats. Like,
I don't know what to say.
come on, that's. But the thing is, listen. Sure, there's negative stereotyping. I'm Sindhi, and I'm definitely both those things. But all I'm saying is, sure, there should have been a response. Like, yes, they're horny and hairy, but there are also other things. Or no, they're not horny and hairy. जो भी आपका नुक्ता नजर है, बयान करो. लेकिन, मतलब, don't threaten to kill someone because they said something.
Yeah, I guess it's just too much ego, too much entitlement.
Hmm.
I don't know, it's hard to say. It's like more stereotyping. But I think some cultures do ingrain like a certain sense of entitlement in people,
Entitled.
which are slightly more tribal. So it's just a cultural thing that happens, and
Sure.
because of that entitlement, ego comes in because of your ego.
But it's entitlement to respect. Like, you should respect me. जो
Yeah.
should वाला scene होता है.
Yeah. But if they're saying it, it's not like they're targeting you or like your
Oh, yeah.
character is going down in any way. So even if she said it, I'm sure she said it on like a public forum.
Yeah.
So she wasn't singling out anyone.
No, she's a comic. नाम मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, नहीं तो मैं बोल देता, लेकिन she's a comic.
Yeah, so she hasn't like pointed out anyone. She's not singling anyone out. So what right do you have to take offense unless you have some underlying insecurities that I've been bullied my whole life for being hairy and horny. I can't stop my horniness. I just can't do it. This is a problem with me.
Sure. There's that way of looking at it. All I'm saying is, whatever issue you took with it, there's a proper way to respond.
Yeah.
Or respond, sorry. There's a proper way to respond. Threatening, like, crushing dissent, right? I don't think, or crushing discussion, I don't think that's the way to go forward. Like,
What do you mean?
you say something I disagree with.
Yeah.
If so facto, what? I should hurt you? No. Huh?
Maybe. No, I'm joking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sure, there's some things that merit it. ठीक है ना, कोई state secret हो.
No,
Huh?
even then, like, don't hurt the guy.
Chalo.
To the next, don't kill the guy.
Kill him. नहीं. But what I'm saying is,
Just take him to a prison.
no, shut up. What I'm saying is, especially when it comes to discussions about stereotypes,
Hmm.
you know the best way to break it. You know the best way to break a stereotype? Because what is a stereotype? Philosophically speaking, a stereotype is the kind of argument that you call a universally quantified statement.
Hmm.
For everything X, Y. So for everything that is X, a Sindhi has Y, these properties. How do you disprove that theory? You find one X that does not have Y.
Yeah.
So just become that one Sindhi. हैरी तो आप खैर अब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ हो या नहीं हो मुझे नहीं
Try
पता.
to find. No, you can have my little brother. He's
Yeah,
hairless.
my little brother too. They're hairless. Yeah. Bihar. But so find one X that isn't Y.
Hmm.
So to disprove a stereotype, that's all you need to do.
And if you're building the case for that stereotype, it also takes just that one.
नहीं ना?
It's a yin to that yang. You
No.
take that one example because that's how the media agencies will blow it up, won't they?
Sure.
Something happens, one guy does this, you want to blame it on race, you want to blame it on like black people stereotype, ye hai, that's why this happened. Kya naam hai? This guy is Sindhi, he's brought from this background, he has a lot of money, so he did this. Matlab, you just need that one example to ruin it for the rest of us, which is the same thing that happens with Islamophobia because, like, yes, you can listen to all these guys, like, you can listen to your Joe Rogans and your Ben Shapiros and all the people that come on their podcasts as well. I'm sure they're very educated.
Sure.
I'm sure they know what they're talking about and they're backing it up with facts. But you can still see that with facts, using facts, you can skew public perception or you can view public image of a certain object, of a person. So yeah, the same thing happens with be it Sindhis. Like obviously there's a lot of good ones out there. It's not like everyone's but it's not like there's no truth to the stereotype at all.
Well, yeah, all stereotypes are based on something.
I would like to believe that stereotypes exist should exist as satire, and you should treat all stereotypes as satire and not just take action based on take action or be prejudiced against somebody because of that stereotype.
Sure.
But the stereotype does exist and it exists for a reason. Like there is always some truth to it, but be impartial about it.
यार मसला ये है ना देखो stereotypes come from discrimination more or less, yeah. Discrimination is actually the genesis of discrimination is from a fundamental surviving mechanism way back when जहाँ से हमारे brain की physiology आई है in the old days, like old days, right? They developed this thing called a fundamental attribution. They couldn't afford to give people or things, not people, things liberty or leeway, right? They couldn't be like, oh, this saber-toothed tiger killed the fuck out of my wife, but these other saber-toothed tigers, they wouldn't do that, right? Give them benefit of the doubt. ऐसा नहीं होता था. So every saber-toothed tiger is going to kill people. Fundamental attribution. Problem is, saber-toothed tigers don't have meta-critiquing qualities or a meta-critiquing apparatus like we do. Like we can think about ourselves. A saber-tooth tiger can't think about. They can think about food and a hungry.
Survival.
Yeah, survival. But they can't think about themselves. Like whatever I'm doing, is it right or wrong?
As a conscious being.
As a conscious being, exactly. So philosophers or psychologists now call this a fundamental attribution error, which is what stereotypes are based on. Yeah, every black person's going to be a criminal. Every Sindhi is going to be hairy. Whatever, right? It's a harmless. It's not. Or VIP
it's
culture.
It's insane to think that somebody got a death threat for calling somebody hairy.
Well, she made fun of them proper.
It's like, how dare you state a fact?
It's not really a fact. Because like, in my house...
If you had to take offense to it, to the point where you threatened to kill the person, it was probably a fact. A hairless guy is not going to go out... You know what? I know one of my friends and this bitch is gone.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it was overall... She made fun, right? She made fun of Sindhis generally. And to what you were saying earlier, to speak to that, it builds up, right? So she just made fun of the fact that we're hairy and we're horny. We are, thank God. That's how we proliferate. You know what I mean? And the hairiness, but what are you going to do? You have classic beards, but then you have to pay for it with hair on your body. Say it, okay?
Back.
Definitely the back. Definitely the back. Don't joke about that shit.
Back hairs just don't kill me, but Disgusting.
I mean, you can get it taken care of. It's not it's not. It's fine. Whatever. Fuck you. All I'm saying is, from these two things. Okay, she made fun of us, or not even us, of Sindhis. Exactly right. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's difficult, but that's the thing.
Did you give that threat, Kazi?
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. Shut up, right? What I'm saying is, right?
Not directly.
Shut up, man. She made fun of us for being hairy and horny, right? In itself, that's trivial. Okay, yeah, okay, so she did. So what, right? From that, it turned into abstract language. It was no longer she made fun of us for that. It was like she made fun of Sindhis.
Yeah.
She was derogatory to Sindhis. You know what I mean? Like, so it's...
Wasn't she Sindhi herself?
She is Sindhi herself. Yeah, I really wish I knew her name at this point.
Yeah.
Naam hi yaad nahi aa raha.
Whoever you are, if you're out there.
If you're out there.
And you're not dead yet. If they haven't gotten you.
Yeah, ab dekho.
Get a gun.
Stop it. But what I'm saying...
You actually thought for a second. He's right. You should get a gun. Protect yourself.
Protect yourself. What do you... But what I'm saying is, it's... Now I lost my train of thought. Because she's like, yeah, she should defend
Yeah,
herself.
so she made fun of you guys.
Yeah. You're Sindhi too.
I'm not Sindhi, man.
Siraiki. Wahi, same
I'm
thing.
almost Sindhi.
Yeah. It's good enough, whatever. So, the thing is, she made fun, right? And there were death threats. Two things. First off, abstract language. It wasn't that she made fun of you for these two things, which is hilarious, right? She made fun of you as a people. She was derogatory to all Sindhis. How dare she? Fair.
Like, they got that feeling that it's coming from a place of hate.
A place of hate that will be
spite.
actionable.
Yeah.
It's not actionable. Okay, what are they going to do? They're hairy and they're horny. Like, okay, right? But instead, it's like, oh, she was being derogatory. Second thing, again, the threats as well. Like, dude, you're killing me. I'll kill you, right?
Yeah.
That's not a threat, you know? So there was abstract language on both parts. That's something that's problematic as well, mere khayal mein.
I don't know. I think people just get very... they don't realize, especially... I have nothing to base this on. This is just a random hypothesis I have, which shapes the way I believe.
We're on a fucking podcast, Usman. This is what we're doing here.
But we were talking about mental health a little while back, and a lot of mental health goes undiagnosed. And people don't realize the level of impulsivity. Like, impulse control is real. Like,
Oh, 100%.
if you're training... I just got a dog recently. The first thing you have to start teaching them is impulse control.
Yeah, that's why I'm not coming over to your house. But that and Corona.
I was going to bring him here.
No.
Like, oh, come on, podcast.
No, you're not. You're not going to bring him here.
But, yeah, like, impulse control is a real thing. People don't realize they act very impulsively. And in the moment, it's like they're blind. So they could end up doing something and later be like, shit.
You shouldn't have done that.
I
Yeah.
haven't done that. That was fucked up.
We've all been there.
But then you start rationalizing it to yourself. It's like, yeah, well, nobody can do shit to me anyway, so yeah, I will kill you.
Exactly, right? You have to live with yourself, and that's the problem. The first thing to do is to stop yourself from rationalizing.
The wrong things.
The wrong things. कोई ऐसा मसला, कोई ऐसी गलती आपने कर दी. The first thing you need to do is stop being like, oh, it's not so bad. Dude, you don't get to decide that. That's the problem, right? If you've wronged someone, you can't also then take or monopolize their narrative or their hurt. You let them feel bad. And if they don't forgive you, that's something that they have a right to do or not do. You know
I don't know if Ali Kulpir got any hate because of the Vadere ka beta or yo.
Quite a bit.
Because I know a lot of people, a lot of Sindhis actually, who didn't realize that he was being sarcastic and it was satire. Who just thought, he was like, yeah, man, he's glamorizing our lifestyle. Like, yeah, Vadere ka beta for life.
That's not good at all.
Ali Kul.
But that's the thing, right? That's satire. He himself, Ali Kulpir, that stuff later on, uske jo gaane the, they show you that stuff came from a lot of pain and anger. You know, that's not been his life.
He saw it from a distance. It's always critical.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be critical.
Yeah, 100%. And he did get hate for it.
Art form is usually critical. So, like, if you see some form of art form, know that if you don't get it, know that there's something more to it that the artist is trying to explain. Maybe try to get into their head, but If you're listening to shit ass music,
I mean,
I have no hope for you. I judge people based on the music they listen to. I'm being very open about
It's
that.
something. Yeah, देखो मैं बात सुनो. Art generally, me and Wahab have been trying to make a video about this as well, about art. Art generally is meant to ask you questions. Art doesn't have answers. It can't get you, nothing can get you answers except you. But art asks you certain questions. That's what art is supposed to do. That's why artists are supposed to be free. They should be free. And the thing is, if you take just that metric, you can start making sense of people like Irfan Junejo and why he's had so much success, or people like Muru, or people like Bilal Ali Adeh
Yeah.
from Kashmir.
Yeah.
The prolific rise that these people have had because they've been asking questions.
Not just that, they're
good.
They've been busting their ass. Some people are blessed. Some people have talent. Whoever it is didn't give up on it. They didn't waste it. They're not sitting on their asses lazing around.
Ye baat to
They
sahi hai.
pursued it. It's just the hard work that pays off. Like even with somebody like Muru,
Yeah.
like I can imagine for him it would have been strange because it's like, what do I do? Like, should I sing? I can kind of sing. I can kind of play guitar. I think I can edit. I think I can learn to shoot. And then it's just like, what do you do? Sitting on my ass, might as well start doing something. Let's just start doing everything.
Yeah, might as well.
So like Irfan Junejo didn't have the same skill set, so he had to adapt sort of different way.
Yeah.
But they've all tried to not compromise on the kind of content they were making, but try to talk about slightly something more serious, slightly palatable, more easy to sell to the public, that they understand more. Get your audience apna thoda sa bada ke rakho ke you get them subscribers and them likes.
Sure. But देखो, here's what's interesting, and you've mentioned it just now, right? अगर इन दोनों, if these were the two people that you had to take as examples, their work ethic has shown through their life,
Yeah.
right? With Irfan, it was football and everything else that he was doing.
Football?
Like, dude, he was a national level football player.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, there is a chip, there is something in their brain that goes, I can work hard.
Yeah.
Working hard is not the problem. Anyone can say that. But I can't work hard for shit. Like, until, it's right there. Muru's the same way. Like, if you see his trajectory or see where he started, these guys have been doing it for years. Like 10 years, like maybe a decade even. Right? So they've been working hard.
When that Muru and Faris Shafi song came out, the first one, Awam,
That's good.
I was young then. I was just like, "Ye kya Honda, Londa. I was like, this guy is fucking around. Then I started listening to the Forest part. I was like,
Oh,
no.
God.
I was so stupid.
Recently, I've started listening to Abdullah Siddiqui.
I've heard of this guy. I haven't heard him though.
Dude, you need to. उसका फारिस शफी के साथ एक है. Search it up right now.
Did it just come out?
No. He's been around for a while.
No, but did this song with Faris just come out?
I don't know. It's called Prosaic by Abdullah Siddiqui and Faris Shafi. I
might
can't
have
play it,
heard
only copyright strike वगैरह हो जाएगा, लेकिन जो है वो
Faris, help us out.
Abdullah.
I know you're not making money. We're getting you viewers.
We're not.
We're getting you 4 new views.
The 4 of you who are still listening. But yeah, that's what it is. So people have been working hard, man. फिर nepotism की गुफ्तगू आ जाती है बीच में. वो तो है. Dude, you listen to Abdullah Siddiqui, right? Faris Shafi, we all know he's talented, but he's operating in a art form that isn't as acceptable to the masses.
What, music?
Rapping.
Yeah.
Right?
Rapping's becoming big, man.
It's becoming big now, right? लेकिन जब से ये फारिस कर रहा है, एक ज़माने it was a fringe thing. It was a subculture. It was just like, what are you doing? Right?
It still sort of is, but it's a growing subculture
now.
now.
It is 100%. Abdullah Siddiqui, he's classically melodical. Like if you listen to his stuff,
he's more R&B.
R&B, it's like old school jazz and shit.
Let's make love, baby.
Oh yeah. And पता है क्या उसकी शक्ल देखो ना बिल्कुल मतलब. You remember me when I was like 17, no beard, nothing? He looks, huh?
You've always been hairy and horny.
It's the truth. But what I'm saying is, yeah. I have, dude. I was bullied about this shit.
About being hairy and horny?
Yeah.
That's why you had to send that death threat.
No, that wasn't me.
Sorry.
But but he looks like that, right? But then his vocals, like they sound like freaking Lloyd Banks.
Yeah.
Not Lloyd Banks. वो कौन सा बंदा है? But just big vocals, right? Not big as in like I don't
Powerful.
know. Huh? Powerful vocal, exactly. Powerful vocals, just thick.
Ali Azmat, fucking.
Yeah, something like that. Sure. And I'm sure he's
Like you can see you can feel what he's feeling when he's singing.
oh,
like.
dude, yeah. And
I'll check him out if he's actually like that. If he isn't, I'm never going to trust any suggestion you give me.
But you come back to this
we
podcast.
built we built half this podcast on this guy, Abdullah or something, Siddiqui.
Abdullah Siddiqui, Prosaic, but with Faris Shafi. Come on now.
Yes.
Dekho, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're gonna enjoy the Faris part. You already like Faris.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's alright. It's not that bad.
New Faris shit.
Yeah. नया वाला भी आया हाँ नजर न लग जाए ना.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh.
That was good. That was really good. Stop it. So, but Abdullah generally, like Faris, sings about existential angst. That's the other reason that I was just like, God damn.
भारी आ रहे हैं boys.
Yeah, आवाज भी भारी है और बातें तो
Yeah.
आपको पता ही है. But yeah, check out Abdullah Siddiqui. Abdullah.
Pay him money.
Um,
Pay us money.
really, a shout out.
I know
would be
you
good
ain't
at this
getting money.
point.
No musicians making money in Pakistan. So.
Yeah, okay, but that's how I found him out, right? So there's this guy on Twitter called his name is Ahmer Naqvi.
Who?
Ahmer Naqvi.
Acha, Ahmer Naqvi.
Ahmer Naqvi. And his handle is Karachi Khatmal. I know. I'm just like, what the shit, dude, right?
Nice.
And he's a journalist. He's well respected and everything. Irfan Junejo actually told me about him. Irfan was like, he's a smart guy. I'm like, and I didn't even know what Khatmal means.
Seriously.
Yeah, dude. I found out after.
Once I found out, I found it pretty hilarious, and I had to tell one of my Shia friends. I told him, and he was like, yeah, "It's pretty funny, but kind of offensive."
It is offensive, dude. It's like calling Urdu speaking people the M word. It's like it's not funny. Like
Majir?
nahi, not Majir. The other one.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
I had forgotten that was the thing.
You should.
MQM's been out of the picture for so long, I had forgotten that was a whole narrative once upon a time.
It is. We need to get past it though, inshallah. Lekin behal, so his handle is this.
Yeah.
He was like, I know that the Pakistani music industry is going to pander towards 50-something has-beens. I'm like, ooh. But he's like, but this is the new guard of Pakistani musical talent. I was
They
like,
are
right,
for sure, but start giving them some sort of money so they don't die with nothing.
That's the argument that Emmer was making
Even
as
though
well.
a lot of big artists have died with nothing, but I guess that's a dilemma of being an artist. But
That's what it is, dude, right? But the thing is, the people who've made money off their name, ye bhi to sahi nahi hai na.
that's usually what happens because
Yeah.
they're gentle souls,
They are.
they're sensitive people. They hurt.
They do. They feel that's why they produce, right? You're killing Wahab. Come on, man. These are condenser microphones. If he laughs, it'll catch it. That's why he's not laughing.
So holding himself.
He's just like. But that's what it is. And that's the argument he was making. Ki, yaar, we need to prop these guys up. वो आया था, Abid Brohi आया था. I don't know where he went. But Abdullah Siddiqui he's good.
Oh, a friend of mine actually I spoke to him recently. He was asking me like, wait, since my purpose of life and my identity is now somebody in the corporate world.
Ooh.
So it's just like, I can get sponsorships and so I think Abid Bro is trying to get back into the picture. He's working with, this guy is one part of two of Somewhat Super.
Acha.
Yeah.
So
So
they
Somewhat
produced.
Super did that first song
Yeah.
with Abid Brohi.
Kahe, Milundasi. That was, I think, Alan Fakir or someone.
That was Alan Fakir Kalam. It was great, man.
It was. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
I heard his students, Alan Fakir Shagir, do that at my friend's house, man. It was something else. I was like, chalo, ab Rona time mein wedding scene to nahi hota, but people call like Rahat and all these guys commercially viable.
Sure.
It's like, no, bro. Have a small gathering, sit on the floor, circle, and just have these guys in the middle. Like, they will transport you to another dimension.
We were talking about this before the
Yeah.
podcast. No, Alan Fakir ke students.
Oh, they're so good, man. They'll get you. Like, they'll get you. It's like, this is your soul calling.
it's up to you to pick up. You're just like, what?
There can be 100 people sitting around you, and it's like there's nobody else, just me and you.
Jeez, dude, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful stuff. Now, I'd love to have them on the podcast.
I might be able to help you out with that. Like, I'll speak to them. I'll speak to a friend of mine that knows them. A friend of a friend of a friend. Karachi life.
Corporate life, Usman.
No, it's not corporate. This is just Karachi life. Everyone knows anyone. Like, you can be on one end of the city.
Yeah.
Like, you live on Khaibane, middle of nowhere.
That's basically where I
You can
live.
be on the opposite end of the city, and somehow you'll be like, yeah, no, that guy.
Well, it's interesting, right? This was the starting of my YouTube channel. I live here. Amir Bhagat literally lives on the highway.
Who's Amir Bhagat?
Amir Bhagat is the guy who taught me and Wahab how to edit and stuff, right? So I showed up to his class. He's like, ये editing वेडिटिंग तो हम सीख रहे थे सर में मेरी बातें सुनी उन्होंने बोला आप भी YouTube चैनल खोल लो मैंने बोला खोल लूँगा इसमें क्या है and he's like yeah you should just come over. Little did I know, and I was just like yeah you go over to a person's house. I'm like that's no problem. Little did I know.
Chai biscuit.
Little did I know he was calling me to the highway. It's like I might as well go see Hyderabad, come back.
That's the exact moment I would have changed my decision. You know what? Let me know when you're closer. I think I'm gonna give up on this dream.
on this YouTube, yeah, it's not gonna work
this
out like
dream is too far away.
It's really far.
38 kilometers away from me.
It's not 38 kilometers. It's through Karachi, 38 kilometers.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly like that. Like you were saying, Karachi just has a way of, connecting people.
Yeah. Anyone talks shit about Karachi, fuck you. I love the city.
Karachi's a piece of shit, man. Like, I mean, it's the people that
you.
are... It's the people that are
You're gonna
amazing.
get death threats.
No,
Hairy,
for what?
horny.
Come on, man. Can't help it. I already work out 2 times a day.
I absolutely love this city. Any other city, that's where that group psychology shit comes in. It's an outsider talking about the city. I will not stand for this. Fucking Punjabi.
Stop it. But देखो यार, I've lived in Kuala Lumpur, which is a great metropolitan, right? I've lived in Toronto, which is an amazing metropolitan. They don't compare to Karachi. ये बात तो है. Like, and they're beautiful in their own way. They're truly tremendous. They're amazing. Karachi में कुछ है, because despite being shit, it's horrible. It's really bad.
It's so bad.
People, बारिश पड़ती है, जो नेमत होती है, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. बारिश पड़ती है, people's houses get flooded.
I was worried it rained yesterday. I was worried, will I have a car tomorrow or not?
Jeez, dude. That's what I'm saying. And yet, people don't want to move out. They just want to live here.
I think they also can't move out because it's like no other city close by has been developed. Like Hyderabad, yes, thoda bahut, and now it's gotten a lot better Hyderabad.
Yeah.
But
Hyderabad just doesn't have the scale.
It doesn't have the scale. It doesn't have the level of industry. And it's just about creating awareness and getting people out. Like I was hoping when the Gwadar thing happens that people start moving out of the city at least so overpopulation थोड़ी सी कम होए and एक और कहीं ना कहीं जगह बनाओ कि पूरे पाकिस्तान का बंदा एक जगह ना जमा होए मतलब सबको एक ही जगह जमा होना है. But Lahore has gotten insane, man. वैसे.
Yeah, but
what it used to be and what it is now.
I've been hearing this from a lot of people कि जो पीटीआई की गवर्नमेंट है ना हम बुरा भला बोल सकते हैं कराची में बैठ के we're technically under the Sindh government ना तो Sindh government and the federal government are not the same thing. बाकी हर जगह डेवलपमेंट जबरदस्त किस्म की हुई है apparently.
It's been from the Nawaz Sharif time. Like
yeah.
I think all of Lahore's credit goes to Shahbaz Sharif. Like he was pretty gangster about everything. Like जो आपके buildings code word पे नहीं बनी हुई थी, you didn't have parking, tear it down, bro.
Really?
From what I've heard.
Yeah.
But जो भी code पे नहीं बनी हुई थी, they're like no bro, fix this shit, and they uplifted the whole face of the city. पूरा facelift मिला है city को. And not only that, it's gotten bigger. Like it's growing to the point where it could beat Karachi in the next 10 years maybe.
In terms of size?
In terms of population. I don't know about the real population, but you look it up on Google, we're not that far ahead of Lahore.
Yeah, but
their population has grown and their city limits keep growing. Like they're almost at Kasur now. Kasur and Lahore used to be a distance that you needed to travel. Now they're almost there.
Jeez, dude. But like proper planned growth? Or is it just
planned growth? Absolutely planned growth. Like they've expanded with their barrier towns and their housing societies all. Like I think somebody told me, have you been to Lahore?
No, never.
This Packages Mall in Lahore. You've heard of Packages Mall, I'm guessing. So they're under this big company which does packaging.
Ah, you don't say.
I don't know if you knew that, but that's what they do, packages.
In the packaging mall.
So apparently their factory used to be right outside the city limits.
Mhm.
And now it's like right outside of defense.
Gee,
That's how close it's gotten. That's how much the city has expanded. So
that's amazing. बैरियर टाउन तो खैर यहाँ भी बन रहा है कराची में मतलब कराची के
fun,
बाहर.
yeah, it's nice, but it's just too far away because Karachi's too big already. Like they had a plan where they could get it closer, but traffic is shit.
Yeah, 100% is.
I don't know anyone who says Karachi's traffic is shit. Islamabad people can talk their shit. Lahore can't.
Lahore की
Anne.
shit है.
Anne.
What does that mean?
Andhe.
Oh, अच्छा.
Blind. Like you literally, if you don't tell them get the shit out of my way and you honk at them, they're not going. They're just going to blindly come inside. And the weird part is, usually the drivers वो सही चलाते हैं.
Mhm.
जितने बंदा घर पे ड्राइवर आया हुआ है वो काम कर रहा है वो लोग सही चलाते हैं. जो वहाँ के सेठ हैं वो बहुत मतलब ओफ यार क्या बताऊँ. मतलब मुझे डर लगता है. मैं कोई जानने वाला अपनी गाड़ी दे दे लाहौर में कि हाँ ले लो काम वाम वही कर लो. Sorry bro, I can't do this.
You can't do that.
Like I don't trust what will happen with me in this city in this car with these people.
नहीं यार वो
Every time I get in the car, Lord,
Stop. वो जो है अपना I've driven in Kuala Lumpur, I've driven in Toronto, and they have like उनकी भी अच्छी downtown की तो खतरनाक traffic होती है, but it doesn't even compare. Like my mom makes this joke often is as soon as we land in Karachi, पूरा होता है just like yes Karachi. That and the aroma of shit.
Oh yeah.
Those two things.
That's-
Just like yeah.
Russell Peters made a joke about that, and initially I didn't really pay mind to it. I thought they're just making fun of Desi people, and he was talking about India.
Yeah.
Or this is one time I came back and I actually like as soon as the plane door opened, I'm like oh shit, it's actually there.
It's now that I knew to look for it. It's actually here.
For a few weeks I was told I was completely fine. I thought it was just like us.
Happens, man. Happens. Let's see the time. So that was above an hour.
Was it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's call it.
I don't know. We can keep going. Came to hang out.
Yeah, we'll hang out afterwards. Are we still going to make you do a workout?
I cannot.
Try telling him that.
I have a dog at home and my guy is leaving.
Why is he leaving?
Because
What kind of dog did you get? Chalo, let's end with that. What kind of dog did you get?
I got an English Cocker Spaniel.
Are those the kind that kill you?
Any dog can. No.
Yes, they can.
Well, not really. He's a cute little guy. He'll be like, yay, hi. Not more than that.
He'll try to bite me though.
Initially, yes, because their teeth are coming out and they're animals, so they don't know better. They don't aim to harm you
Yes, they do.
or call you hairy or horny.
Did you just call that girl a dog?
No.
हाँ anti-feminist जितने भी feminist लोग हैं कराची में देख
I'm
लो.
saying you don't have to give death threats to my dog.
I'm not going to.
He doesn't mean anything bad by it.
Neither did that comedian, but I mean,
Exactly.
shit happens
Shit
sometimes.
happens. I'll get him a gun. Protect yourself.
Protect
From
yourself.
Kazi.
What? No, don't protect yourself from me. Like, share, and subscribe to my shit. And we'll see you in the next one.
We'll talk more shit.
Alright, Usman Shah, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.